Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing well. We're going to talk about how everything's going to come falling apart, the whole economy, right? But it's happening for a really interesting reason this time, and that's because of logistics, supply chain shock, things like that. We're going to use the gap as an example, okay? And this is out of CNBC. I'm going to link the article below. We're going to go over a couple of points. But it's entitled Gap Stock Slides 20% After Cutting Sales Guidance, CEO of Old Navy Division to Leave. Now, this is a really interesting story because I've been talking about this and how everything's going to start coming apart because companies cannot get materials. So now it cannot make sales because it can't make product. Then it has to lay off employees. Then the employees have less money to spend into the real economy. And it becomes a snowball effect, right? So this is a great example, okay? So here's some points. Gap slashed its fiscal first quarter sales guidance, citing execution challenges within the Old Navy business. The chief executive officer of Gap's Old Navy division, Nancy Green, is set to depart her post this week. And as Gap searches for Green's successor, the company's CEO, Sonia Singhal, will be working closely with the Old Navy team. Okay, now that last point is some CYA for the company, right? Now the shares have already slid 20%. So let's talk about one consequence. The company now is worth 20% less, which means if it ever has to raise money, it has to raise money at a lower valuation. So that hurts the bottom line for shareholders, okay? That's one consequence of this. All right, it says, let me get through all the minutia here in this thing. All right, so it says news of Green's abrupt departure comes as Gap struggles to weather continued logistics disruptions and rising inflation that threatens to curtail consumer spending. So right there, they're telling you a couple different things. First off, inflation is causing consumers to slow their spending. I was just at dinner with someone the other night that works in mass retail. We're talking big time stuff, right? Works with large retailers like Walmart and Ace, and he was telling me that sales are down pretty dramatic in the last month. And I said, give me the example why. And he goes, well, weather's been rough the last 6 weeks. I'm like, well, that's all normal. That's seasonality. He said, but it's inflation. They really, the company heads are really talking about inflation, saying, look, people just have literally less disposable income. And I think that's going to get worse, which means the company's earnings are going to get worse and worse and worse. And I think we're going to start to see the stock market shift downwards as more fear grips the market because there's just going to be less sales. Now, over the long term of massive inflationary waves, let's say, right? The stock market does, I can't say well, it tries to keep up, right? Because people are scared, like in Venezuela, and they dive into the stock market because like, what else can I buy to keep up with inflation, right? So, but in the short term, in the beginnings of a massive inflationary wave coming, fear grips markets and people start to liquidate because they go, hey, these companies are going to be making less money. So it's a very interesting sort of thing. But on top of that, they're talking about the logistics, right? So they cited right here, hey, we're having a problem getting logistics. Well, a lot of people know that a lot of these clothing lines are made overseas. So we have this issue with all of these container ships. I remember I was talking about this months and months ago when the port of Los Angeles really started to back up. And I said, the thing is they're going to start offloading by the spring, but at a certain point, they're going to only have so much to offload. When these supply chains get more gnarled, and now what we're seeing out of China with them closing down again and getting gnarly with their restrictions, we're going to start seeing more and more delays, right? And so these companies just simply sometimes they have customers, but they don't have any product to sell them. So that's the problem. It's insane. So it says the snarled supply chain has been particularly hard on its Old Navy division, which targets a lower income consumer, the company said. Now that's really interesting. When it reported quarterly results in early March, delayed shipments have meant the retailer hasn't had enough merchandise on hand to meet shopper demand in some instances. So this company, and I'm going to put this away, well, you guys check out the article below. It is true, Old Navy has that demographic of lower income people. And good news, the Ninjas shopped at Old Navy for years. And my family always, with our kids, we bought Old Navy clothes. Why? Because clothes are clothes. And I actually found what was really interesting was Old Navy sold, like when I was working selling palm trees, I always wanted these certain type of shorts that were really thick because I was always rubbing, the pots. It was just really hard work, and they would always get thrashed. And the Old Navy actually had the greatest prices and the best quality for what I could find, right? But it's going after a certain demographic. With marketing, they can key point and know exactly who their customer base is. And so Old Navy is that company that's shooting for the lower end as far as net worth clientele, right? So that is what is affecting them now, because that demographic of people that make a certain level of income, they are being hit the hardest. Whereas people with more income can just simply go, look, we'll cut out this or that, we won't go out to eat so much. And so they're not getting hit as hard now. But I believe in the near future, I believe we're gonna see double-digit inflation in the next 8 weeks. I'm calling it right now, we're gonna hit 10% on the CPI, which we all know is a joke anyway. But I'm telling you, you're gonna see something really interesting with that CPI. It is going to be a psychological shockwave that goes through the consumers. It will be gnarly. That will be the day. It'll be like everything changed. Like, well, it doesn't really matter. It's only like, an extra percent or whatever, but it's gonna be a shockwave. It'll be impressive. I've seen this in sales my entire life. I've been a salesman my entire life. I've had to sell everything I've ever done, right? I have to sell myself. I mean, everyone's a certain level of salesman. So we all know inside what happens when you hit double digits. It's like when Bitcoin finally crested 10,000 and went from 4 digits to 5 digits. It was like, boom. It does something. Same thing when it went from 900 to 1,000. So anyway, my point being is this. You're gonna start to see more and more of these snowballs. And right now there's just a big old Yeti on top of a snow mountain just throwing snowballs, and those snowballs are going down the hill, but there's not just one. That's the problem. There's multiples. That Yeti's just hucking snowballs. Hey, look at this. He's throwing snowballs down this mountain. There's 1 snowball, 2 snowball, 3 snowball, and they're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's this village down there that, the village could take a whack from 1 snowball, but when you get like 50 snowballs coming at you and they're getting big, it's gonna take down the village. And I really think, for a lack of a better analogy, that Yeti is just up top having fun, like, oh, I'm throwing snowballs. But that town pretty soon is gonna get walloped by just a huge storm of snowballs. I have nothing. That's all I've got. That's my analogy. See what happens when the ninja doesn't have enough coffee? Hold on. Man, if you guys are enjoying a cup of coffee right now, cheers. It is interesting. We're gonna see more and more of that, and we're gonna see it right now. We're gonna see it in real time. In the next few months, you are going to see just a wallop after a wallop after a wallop. And it's going to get exciting for those that are prepared. Now, if you're not prepared, if you're new to this channel, hey, hit the subscribe button. It helps me out. I've got a goal. I know it's lofty. I'm gonna get to 1 million subscribers. I wanna go to 1 million subscribers. Why? Because I want to take all of you with me. I want you on this journey. It's no fun being successful by yourself. I'm not joking. We wanna go out there, we wanna crush it. When this housing market crashes, we wanna crush it. When the stock market falls, we wanna buy it up. We want to absolutely dominate. And the reason we wanna dominate is because I truly believe, because look, there's nothing much here, right? It's just me, the ninja. I know that anyone willing to follow this channel is a cool person. I mean, honestly, like, there's nothing, no fancy fluff. You don't see a Lambo sitting behind me. As a matter of fact, you see my future real estate project here, but it's just me. And I want you guys to go out and crush it, and then we're gonna go be good humans, and we're gonna help people out. Sure, you're gonna be wealthy, and you're gonna have money, and you're gonna be happy. And there's probably other issues we're gonna have to work through. We'll do that together. But my point being is we want to go out and crush it. And that is what I want for you guys. And I'm telling you right now, this channel grows so fast because of you, not because of me. You guys are amazing. I love meeting all of you. I know I'm going on a total tangent, but let me just do this. Let's feel the love right now. Honestly, I love meeting you guys. I love getting to know you. You're all incredibly important, and you are going to make such an impact on this world, because every single person I've met so far, it will never happen. I will never meet a subscriber of this channel that is lame. So guys, keep thinking big. Keep dreaming, but put those dreams into action right now. Every dollar you save is a dollar earned. Don't listen to the idiots out there, and there's lots of them. And that's okay, because you're just gonna buy those guys' houses and just rent them back to them. They'll be good tenants. All right, guys, that being said, I thank you so much for watching. The Economic Ninja is out.